Hi there, and welcome to today's episode of How the Game Was Won. Today we're looking at the round 8 game between Svidler and Jobava, played in the FIDE Grand Prix in Tashkent on the 23rd of February 2015. And in this game, it follows an opening I remember playing often and to relatively good success in the South African Correspondence Chess Championships that I won, and that is the Rac1 Na7 with the advanced variation. So without further ado, there we go, you've got the advanced variation already up there on the board, and go through to the remainder of the opening moves. And in this position, Black has played just about every move here in top level chess. There's been Knight E7, which is the main line. You've got Black's played H6. Black's played Bishop G6 here. There's even been C5 played, Bishop E7 played, Queen C7 played. But Jobava always manages to find some sort of a way to come up with a move that no one has thought of before. Earlier in this exact same tournament, he played H5, but that landed up being a disaster. So this time around, he goes for something slightly different, and he uncorks F6. Now, from that point of view, just looking at it from a simplistic point of view, F6 is effectively blocking the normal later on development square for the knight once the e-pawn has been taken care of. But I'm sure that Jobava has got a couple of interesting variations of his streak. Because yes, objectively the move does look bad, which is probably why nobody has looked at it, and hasn't got enough of a minor piece development before making a break like this, and it also creates a weakness as far as his castle king is concerned. The game continues with C4, F takes, D takes, Bishop C5, Knight C3, A6, C takes D, C takes D, and already, Black is now already very close to finishing his development, and if he manages to do that, he should be quite happy with his position. There's the blockade on D4. The blockade on D4 won't hold unless Svidler gives up on his pawn structure. So we continue with Bishop E3, which is cementing White's hold over D4 at the cost of long-term weaknesses on both E3 as well as E5, which you will need to deal with. We continue with Bishop takes E3, F takes E3, cementing that weakness that I mentioned earlier, Knight E7, Queen B3, Queen B8, Queen A3, and at the moment you can see that Svidler is not even trying to hold on to his pawn that he's got here at the moment. Instead, he wants to develop an initiative that will keep Black King stuck in the center of the board. And he does that with Knight E5, Knight D4, Knight on 5 back to C6, Knight takes F5, E takes F5, Bishop F3, Queen E5, Queen C5, and here Jobava castles long. which obviously doesn't look particularly safe, but black is trying to king his king to the corner and then push the white pieces back. It will take a couple of moves to get there, but it's at least gives the black king a safe haven, and it allows black also to do an all-out storm on the black king down the king side of the board. We continue with Fd1 Kb8, b4, rook d6, and rook d6 is a brilliant move here because it's a key resource, a superb fine fine form from Jobava. Thanks to the rook lift, black is now able to beat back the white attack. Continuing with b5 and then switching the king side rook across to c8. At this point you can see that Jobava has managed to get his king back towards the corner and safely behind the pawn, and by switching the rook across is allowing the rook to effectively point at the white queen. And I remember back in my early days when I was a youngster, I remember my chess teacher always telling me that if you're wondering about where to place your rooks, place your rooks in such a way that they either point at the opponent's king, or they point at the opponent's queen. Because once you've got the rooks pointing at those powerful pieces, then as the game progresses, the pieces that are standing between your rook and your opponent's powerful piece can be cleared out of the way, bringing about a discovered attack. And if you can bring about your discovered attack by playing some other type of threat, you can very well end up winning that opponent's piece. But that's a lesson that was taught to me when I was a beginner, and I find it's a very useful beginner lesson to be teaching young players as they're starting off as well. The game itself continued with rook ac1, knight a7, queen a3, a takes b5, knight e2, rook takes in c1, rook takes in c1, knight on a up to c6. And yes, what we have here is black is now 2 pawns up on white, but white's position, now that black's managed to beat back the white initiative, is just simply not enough counterplay for giving up 2 pawns. And all that black effectively now needs to do is to consolidate the position, and the game is effectively won. And for a player of the caliber of Jobava, this should be relatively easy to do. And he continues with c5, g5, h3, b4, a3, rook e6, king f2, d4, e takes d4, queen takes c5, d takes c5, and black has gone on to consolidate all of his advantages. And yes, sure that white has the possibility of winning back the 1 pawn, but at the same time the pluses that black has are absolutely immense, because his pieces are way more active. The pawn on c5 is isolated and weak, and for that matter, what we've got going here as well is on the king side of the board, we've got a 3 versus 2 pawn advantage, and it's just going to be a simple matter of black continuing to press, and that will be effectively the end of the game. And in this position, Jobava uncorked the superb knight e5. And in this position, Svidler realized that all of the pressures were too much, and it would be a simple wrapping up of the position. So in this position, Svidler resigned rather than facing the combination of rook a1, rook a6, a4, and here black plays knight d3 check, and as I mentioned, that weak isolated pawn on c5 falls, and following that there will be both the knight and the rook both then hitting the a4 pawn, and what's more, you've got a situation whereby the black pawn on b4 has a clear run through to the b1 square. So that is how the game was won. Jobava picking up the point against Svidler in round 8 of the FIDE Grand Prix in Tbilisi. And post your comments and questions down below. Don't forget to share this video out amongst your chess friends. If you like this type of commentary, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like this type of commentary and you want me to be looking at different types of commentary, give it a thumbs down, and also post a comment down below as far as in which way you feel that the commentary could be made even better. And last but by no means least, also down below the bottom left hand corner of this video screen is a big red subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button, that way you can stay subscribed to my channel for all of the new videos as I post them on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis. Stay carved up for the win out there. I'll see you next time. Cheers.